Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up. Tonight, we're gonna light it up. Tonight, we're gonna light it up. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up. Tonight, we're gonna light it up. Tonight, we're gonna light it up. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna light it up.
Hey everybody, welcome into tonight's live. Hopefully you guys are having a good start to your week, or actually end of your week. Sorry, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. It's almost Friday, so you're almost off for the weekend. I don't know why I thought it was the beginning of the week, but I did. But if you are new to the channel, hello, hi, welcome. If you're not new to the channel, hello, hi, welcome. Welcome in everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. If you didn't make it to our members only live and you're a member, make sure you go and check it out. We had a good time and we did it earlier this afternoon. So we finally got to do it. I kept pushing back the time. So sorry about that, but welcome in everybody. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. Like I said, hey, Lori, hey, Ladybug. Hey, Mary, is Mary Beth in here? I'm sure she is running around somewhere. Hey, Captain. Hey, Princess. I saw you up there. It's welcome in everybody. Hey, Just Breathe. Hey, DM. Hey, Faith. Hey, SD. Thanks, Mandy. Smash the like button. It does help. Hey, Faith, if you guys don't mind. If you don't mind, it does really help the channel. Get us into the algorithm. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started. My drink's in the way. You can see my straw hanging out there, but who cares at this point, right? Who cares? We are going to talk about Megan Boswell tonight. I haven't got I didn't get a whole lot of time to like watch her trial. I've been so busy the last couple of days. So we're going to kind of do like recaps together. I did watch a little bit like here and there, but it wasn't like, I didn't get to watch like large chunks. Like I wish I would have been able to. Hey, Pancakes, welcome in. But I do have, I was going to pull up, first off, I wanted to pull up her charges so that we all knew what she was charged with. And then we'll kind of just go from there. And I'll give you like a little background of what the case is about. So let me go ahead and go up here because I have some notes that I have to read when it comes to where they they found her. So I read them right. But to give you a little background on the case, Megan Boswell was the mother of 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell. One day, Evelyn was there, and the next day, she was not. She was never reported missing by her mother. She blamed her mother and said that so Megan blamed her mother and said that Evelyn was with her. And then she tried to say that Evelyn was with the child's father. And neither were true. She lied multiple times. As you can see, she has 12 counts of false reports that she's made. So she's a little bit of a liar. Ellie then searched Megan's father's land. And they found baby Evelyn there. They found her inside Megan's old playground equipment, like playground that her daughter, I think her dad had built it for her. And she was found, this is where I have to read because I want to make sure I say it right, in a trash can wrapped in a blanket and aluminum foil. So she was wrapped in wrapped in a blanket and aluminum foil, then in a trash bag, and she was tossed in there like head first. And rumor is that she was alive when she was tossed in there. Courttv has been covering this case extensively. They're there in the courtroom. So they made some shorter clips that I thought that we would kind of go over tonight because it just helps us. So I thought we would start with this and then a timeline. It's like a 3-minute video. It'll get us like kind of caught up with what the case is about as well. And, you know, what's going on leading up into the trial. And then we'll talk about opening statements. So, and welcome in everybody. I didn't say hi. If I didn't say hi to you, hey, Stephanie. Hey, Ashley. I was about to say Ashley better be in here because I know she knows this case. Oh gosh, that's so sad. That's terrible. That is like anger to do that, you know? Like what? We say it all the time. What could a baby do? You know, what could that baby have done? Nothing. So when was this? Okay, this is just a day ago. But they have some clips from 2020 in here. So we'll listen to this. And this is just a timeline. You know, it gives us a timeline of the search for Evelyn.
Joins us tonight. Will, you've spent the day going back into our archives of everything that's happened leading up to this trial.
Yeah, Casey, from start to finish, the entire ordeal took nearly 1 month in the winter of 2020. From the time Megan Boswell first reported her 15-month-old daughter missing to when police found the body later determined to be that of Evelyn's on family property. The case of the missing 15-year-old captured the hearts and attention of people across the country. The case of missing Evelyn Boswell started on February 18th, 2020.
I want to start out by saying that we've been looking for baby Evelyn since last Tuesday.
Her mother, Megan, reported her missing nearly 2 months after Megan says she last saw her.
As you all know, she was first reported missing last week, and we're still searching for her and working to determine exactly when she disappeared.
Sullivan County Sheriff Jeff Cassidy gave that update in February of 2020, days after the first report and TBI's issuance of an Amber Alert for the little girl. Sheriff Cassidy saying Megan Boswell wasn't telling the clear truth.
A lot of the stuff that you all are getting is from the mother, and you know, you take with it what you want, but she has been inaccurate, conflicting statements all through this investigation.
Just days before this news conference, police arrested Megan's mom, Angela.
I just realized that I didn't go through the counts, what she was charged with. We'll do that in a minute. Sorry about that.
Boswell and her boyfriend, William McLeod, on theft of stolen property charges. The
Look
two
at them
appeared in
too.
court days later.
I've told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground and a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself.
That's Megan on February 24th, telling television cameras her mom took Evelyn camping in Virginia. Police searching that campground and coming up with nothing.
Many of the false statements that Megan made delayed our investigations and also impeded our investigations on trying to find Evelyn. As a result, she has been charged with false reporting.
The next day, police charged Megan first with false reporting.
At this point, most of you are aware that we've received a number of conflicting, inaccurate statements from the mother Megan Boswell, Evelyn's mother.
March 2nd, Megan appears for the first time in court and handed a $25,000 bond, but the search continues for her daughter, Evelyn. On Friday, March 6th, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation found remains they believe to be Evelyn's at the Sullivan County property belonging to Tommy Boswell Sr., Evelyn's grandfather.
At this time, the investigation is in the very early stages. There's a lot of work left to be done.
With Megan already behind bars, the investigation continued. Then, on August 19th of 2020, police formally charged Megan Boswell with 2 counts of felony murder in the death of her daughter, Evelyn. Now, what came from this? Tonight, the law in the state of Tennessee requires parents to report their children missing within 24 hours of the last time they saw them. It's called Evelyn's Law, written and passed in the middle of the search for the 15-month-old nearly 5 years ago today, Casey.
And Will, it wasn't until nearly 2 years later until details of the death were released.
Yeah, September of 2022, that's when a forensics expert took to the stand in Sullivan County courtroom and said Evelyn's cause of death was by asphyxia in 4 places. She testified at the time it was her opinion that Evelyn was killed.
All right, a horrible crime there, and we will continue to follow this trial as jury selection is still underway today. Will, thank you.
Okay. So, actually, we're going to, not this. Okay. I thought we were going to read this, but, or watch this, but we're not. Go over to Courttv here. So I wanted to start with opening statements. We're going to start with the prosecution, the state, of course, and then we'll move on to the defense. Normally, I always feel like with opening statements, they give you a lot of the information that they're going to use in court, like use in trial during opening statements. So it kind of gives you an overview and kind of gives you an insight of like, you know, just exactly what they're going to say and what they're going to do. So, hey, Lenora. And yeah, what Mary Beth says, she got a brand new apartment. That's awesome. That is so awesome. I love that for you. I do. I love that for you. It's going to be so nice. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll play this. If you guys don't mind taking a second, hitting the like button, that way it'll get out into the algorithm. Maybe more people will come in and see this. I know a lot of people are covering this case, though. And if she's slow, we may speed her up a bit because we have a few videos to go through.
About Evelyn Boswell for a few minutes. In 2019, Evelyn Boswell was a bright, growing little girl, full of life, healthy, learning to walk, learning to talk, doing all the things that a 12-month-old child would do. Which means today, 5 years later, Evelyn Boswell would be 6 years old. She would be possibly in kindergarten, learning to read, maybe taking her first ballet class or her first soccer game, learning to tie her shoes, all of the things that we think of that are firsts for 6-year-old children. But based upon the last 2 days of our jury selection, we all know that Evelyn Boswell is not going to do any of those things. We all know that all of that was taken away from her in December of 2019 by the defendant, Megan Boswell. And her life wasn't just cut short. It's not just a tragedy. Her life was violently ripped away from her. And we can all agree that it's a shock. It's a tragedy when a child dies. It's upsetting. It upsets all of us. You'll hear phrases like "gone too soon," "what a tragedy." A child has such a life ahead of them. And a lot of times it is a tragedy. And in this case, it's a tragedy too. But in this case, it was a preventable tragedy. Mm-hmm. There's so much more to this story that you are going to hear. Because Evelyn did not have to die. Evelyn could be here today. And so today, 5 years later, we are asking you to give justice to Evelyn Boswell. During this trial, you will learn that the one person, Evelyn's mother, Megan Boswell, who was entrusted more than anyone else to take care of her, to keep her safe, to protect her, that she failed her in the worst possible way. You will hear proof that the last time Evelyn Boswell was seen alive was December 6th, 2019. You're going to hear that date a few times during this trial. That is the last time that Evelyn Boswell was seen alive. And that was just a few weeks after her first birthday. And you're going to hear from many witnesses who saw Evelyn frequently, saw her all the time, family members, Megan Boswell's friends, that all of a sudden are like, where's Evelyn? Where's Evelyn? We're not seeing her. They're concerned. And they would ask Megan Boswell about it. And every time Megan had an answer. Megan concocted a story. And I'm not going to tell you now what she said. You're going to hear that in the proof. But she told all kinds of different stories, depending on the person that she was talking to. And you will hear from those witnesses today. But you will hear, or this week, but you will hear there was concern. But, they knew Megan. They thought they knew Megan, I should say. And so they wanted to trust that what she was telling them was the truth. But it was not the truth. So after December, what happens next? We have Christmas, New Year's. Where's Evelyn? There is no Evelyn. You will not see any proof that Evelyn was seen at Christmas, New Year's. Then we jump to January. The entire month of January 2020, 31 days.
Gotta hit pause right here. We're coming up on the top of the hour. Stay where you are. We'll hear the opening statements continue next in the case against Megan
I have her
Boswell.
set up, so.
And as we head to break, this is our victim. Little baby Evelyn is who this trial is about.
Evelyn is to try to help. Where's Evelyn? There's no Evelyn. People are really starting to get concerned, and Megan Boswell continues to concoct stories of where Evelyn is to try to help people make sense so she can keep this going. The entire month of February 2020. Where's Evelyn? Again, at this point, family is really starting to get concerned that they have not seen Evelyn. And they're asking questions. Months pass. We're not talking about weeks. We are talking about over 2.5 months that Evelyn Boswell is missing. The defendant is not even just canceling her well visits. She's no-showing. She's just not showing up because she knows where Evelyn is. But again, even to the pediatrician's office, she has to concoct a story about forgetting the appointment maybe, or I got my days mixed up. Always a story. Always a story. So we know now, we did not know then, but we know now that from early December, Evelyn Boswell, even though it had not been reported by Megan Boswell, Evelyn Boswell was a missing child from early December until almost the end of February. She was a missing child. And the only person who knew that, the person who was entrusted to take care of her the most, is the only person who knew that Evelyn was actually missing. And she just left it unreported. Over 2 months later, finally, Megan Boswell's dad, Tommy Boswell, finally essentially puts an ultimatum down on his daughter and says, I'm tired of the stories. If you don't show me my grandchild by the next day, I'm essentially calling the police. Well, Megan knew she could not do that, and she did not do that. And Tommy Boswell finally was the one to report Evelyn missing on February 18th of 2020. Finally, law enforcement gets involved. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation gets involved. The FBI gets involved. All hands on deck to find this missing child. She's finally reported missing. But it's important to note that it was not Megan Boswell that reported her child missing. Megan Boswell never reported her child missing. So you're going to hear from December of 2019 until February of 2020, when it's finally reported, that the defendant's biggest believable story, that really is probably what kept the family from reporting earlier, is she was saying that Evelyn was with her father, Ethan Perry. And you'll hear a lot about Ethan Perry, and you'll get to hear from Ethan Perry yourselves. Ethan Perry is actually not Evelyn's father, but Megan led him to believe that he was the father. And everyone, for all purposes, also believed Ethan Perry was the father. So to the family, they're like, well, that's good. He's stepping up. The father's stepping up. That's good. We're proud of him. And that is the story that Megan Boswell told mostly to her family, to her friends. You were going to hear a lot of testimony about her just telling everyone that Ethan Perry has gotten Evelyn. First, you'll hear that they're trading weeks, but doesn't make sense because people are still not seeing Evelyn. So then Megan took it one step further where he took her to court and got emergency custody, blaming her for something. And again, not true. There was never court. There were no documents. Juvenile court was never involved. It was just another story that Megan Boswell was telling because she knew where Evelyn was, and she had to keep perpetuating this lie. Interestingly enough, she didn't think it through completely because Ethan Perry at the time was in the Army.
I mean, why would she put the body there? I mean, did she plan on moving it at a later date? I mean, someone would have found it eventually. Someone would have found her. Like, maybe in the summertime. Maybe it would have taken until some. I don't know. I don't know. But I think I would feel like there would be a smell. You know?
In Louisiana. He lived in barracks, and I think we all understand and know that in the barracks, there's not going to be a toddler running around. But Megan Boswell, in perpetuating that story, she didn't care. She got the entire Army involved in this to go investigate this poor guy who was trying to serve our country in Louisiana, pulling him out of his duty. I can't imagine the chaos that caused, all because Megan Boswell wanted to perpetuate this lie. And Ethan Perry didn't even see Evelyn in December. You will hear that he came in to visit his grandparents on leave. He never saw Evelyn Boswell over Christmas or over December. And we all know why now. But at the time, Megan again tells the story, Evelyn has the flu, she can't come. And you will hear a testimony that no one saw, no one, not Ethan Perry or anyone else saw Evelyn Boswell in December. The hard part. From early December of 2019 until later when her body was found, Evelyn was always in the same place. And Megan Boswell knew that. Megan Boswell knew that because she is the one that put Evelyn there. She placed Evelyn's body in a kitchen trash can, her own trash can from her home, from the trailer that she shared with Evelyn. And she hid that trash can in her own childhood playhouse on her father's property, a playhouse that you will see no one has been in for a very long time. And that it was Megan's, personal to Megan, not to anyone else. And you're going to hear that Evelyn was put into the trash can upside down is the best way to describe it, head down, in a bag of trash, filled with food debris, broken eggs, her body just placed in there by the defendant. You will see that there was a blanket tightly wrapped around Evelyn's body, pulled up over her face, and quite a bit of aluminum foil then wrapped around her head.
Like, what was that for? Like, what's up with the aluminum foil?
The blanket completely covering her face, the foil completely covering her head. Upside down in a trash can, still in her purple fleece onesie and diaper. And as terrible as it is to say, you are going to hear that she just wasn't placed in the trash can, but then another trash bag was placed on top of her. And that trash bag was shoved down into the trash can, compressing Evelyn into the trash can. That's what we're dealing with today. And you're going to hear proof that directly links
trying to get out of
only
there?
one person to this crime, this horrendous crime. You are going to hear that the only person linked to this crime is sitting at this table right here. You're going to hear it from many witnesses. You're going to hear all of the stories that she concocted, the lies that she told. And you're going to hear forensic evidence that links the defendant, Megan Boswell, and only the defendant, Megan Boswell, to this crime. One step further. This entire time, Evelyn is decaying, decomposing in this trash can, again, upside down and compressed. What is Megan Boswell doing? Is she mourning her child? Is she worried? Is she scared? What is she doing?
She got a new
What would a mother
boyfriend.
be doing? Well, it's not what Megan Boswell was doing. And you're going to hear that because Megan Boswell got a new boyfriend, and it conveniently happened at pretty much exactly the same time that Evelyn disappears. When no one sees Evelyn again, Megan Boswell has decided she's just going to, Evelyn just out of the head, and she's moving on with her life. And she is living her best life, and you will hear that. She has this new boyfriend who has money, or at least she thinks he has money, and she's going to have a better life for herself. Not her child, but for herself. You will hear that she takes trips. She's clearly falling in love. She moves out of the trailer that she was living in with her child and moves in with this guy within weeks into his home in a very nice neighborhood in Blountville, Tennessee. You are going to hear testimony that Megan Boswell is taking trips to Gatlinburg, to Pigeon Forge, staying at Margaritaville Hotel, all while her child is...
And look what the prosecutor's doing with her body language. She's getting close to the defendant there, showing the jury
She
she's not
is.
afraid of her. She's going to point the finger at her, and there's still more to go in this opening statement. Stay with us. We'll be back in just about 4 minutes.
Thank goodness we could just fast forward you, huh? She said 4 minutes. Jeez Louise.
child is upside down, decomposing in a trash can. You will never hear that Megan Boswell was upset, mourning her child, crying. All she does is continue to concoct lies
That's
to
sick.
cover up what she did. Is that what a mother does? So you will hear that when Tommy Boswell reports, it's essentially all hands on deck with law enforcement. Immediately, law enforcement goes into action, and you are going to hear so much proof about how much effort went into finding this baby, how much time and hours worked by every law enforcement agency in North Carolina, East Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, everyone putting their efforts into trying to find this little girl and hoping, just hoping to find her alive. So then Megan Boswell then, of course, comes clean, right? Once law enforcement's involved, because Megan knows where Evelyn is, so she's gonna tell law enforcement, right? The answer is no. You probably can gather that by General Harper reading the indictment for about 40 minutes this morning. Megan Boswell continues to perpetuate her stories, concocting anything, blaming anyone else, Ethan Perry, for a day, 2 days. She continues that story of Ethan Perry. Then you'll hear she admits that's not true. So then she tries to blame her mom, her own mom. She decides to try to blame to try to get out of this because she knows this snowball is rolling down this hill and she's trying to stop it the best she can. Why is she doing that? It's because she knows that she brutally murdered her child and she's trying to cover it up. And maybe she had that hope that Evelyn would never be found. And even to this day, 5 years later, Evelyn would still be a missing child. The defense said something really...
I mean, would she just be sitting in that bucket for 5 years, though? Just leave her there? I mean, I guess if no one goes back there, but you would think they would check everybody's property. You know what I mean? Like, you would just think that cops would do that.
Interesting in jury selection yesterday afternoon I want to touch on.
But I guess if she doesn't live with her dad, that's kind of, they'd have to have a warrant to do that. So
He said to you, you only have one chance to get this right. Do you remember that? Then he said, Megan only has one chance to get this right. Do you remember that? I submit to you, Megan Boswell has already had her chance. She was gifted with a beautiful child, a healthy, vibrant little girl. Evelyn was perfect. Megan Boswell already had her chance. So today is Evelyn's chance. Today's our chance to get it right, not Megan's. Today's our chance to get it right for Evelyn. I know this is not easy for any of you. Thank you for serving. I promise you that this is not easy for any of us. It's not easy for any of us. But it's so important for us to be here today. You know you're going to see pictures that you don't want to see. You know you're going to hear things that you don't want to hear. But that's how we tell Evelyn's story. What she endured before her death, during her death, and even after her death. And where she had to sit for months while her mother continued to live her life as if Evelyn didn't exist. Ladies and gentlemen, at the close of this proof, we believe you will be left with no doubt at all, that the defendant, Megan Boswell, is guilty as charged in every count of the indictment. Thank you.
Oh,
You
we're going to actually watch that here in a minute, but we're going to watch them in kind of an order. So we're going to go over to the defense opening statements. And I don't think it's the whole opening statements. I think it's just like maybe clips of them, but I think it gives us the gist of them. I was listening to this earlier, so let me put that back. Rewind it back. Okay. Thank you guys for being here, by the way. I appreciate that so much. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button. I've been asking you guys a lot tonight, though, so I feel like I've asked you like 4 times. So I won't ask again anymore if you just keep hitting that like. Thanks, guys. And if you want to join our channel membership, I'll put the link in the chat. I haven't put the link in the chat for that yet, so.
Defense got interrupted because there was an issue with a camera in the courtroom belonging to a photographer doing still photography, and that's been resolved. Now the defense attorney gets to continue. Maybe. Here we go.
Don't really know where I was at. I was. That was the first line. I don't really know where I was at, but when Miss Massey, she's right about a lot of things. I mean, there's not a person in this courtroom who wants to be here discussing a dead child. Nobody. Not you all, not me. But the state asks you to convict Megan Boswell of first-degree murder. And it's very interesting what they've done. They've asked you to convict Megan Boswell of first-degree murder in 3 different ways. They've asked you to find that it's a premeditated and intentional killing of her child. And then they're asking you to find that it's a murder that is perpetrated as part of child abuse. And then they're saying, well, if it's not that, surely it's because of child neglect. That's a problem. The state's theory is reasonable doubt in and of itself. They don't know what happened. They don't know how that child died. And they can't prove how that child died. I expect you'll hear from a couple of different medical examiners who come to somewhat the same conclusion, but one medical examiner, I think you'll hear from her, and she's went to, she has a very interesting theory. But I would suggest to you that her theory is flawed. And the proof will show you why it's flawed. Just like yesterday I was talking about the Courttv, I think I asked a couple of you about the scientific method. And if you put in incorrect data, would you get incorrect results? And you will, if it's significant, data significant. The state asks you, I anticipate this medical examiner, based on her testimony in another hearing, is going to say that this child was alive when it was placed in the trash can. But then again, the state says Megan's guilty of abuse of a corpse. Those theories are not consistent. They're not consistent with this. What the state hasn't talked to you about is the possibility what if this was accidental? What if Megan or Hunter Woods rolled over on that child in the bed?
Why didn't you call police then?
And I find this unreasonable, honestly. I find it unreasonable.
Why? I mean, if it was an accident, why would you put her in plastic in a trash can, or put her in plastic, put a blanket around her, aluminum foil on her head? I still don't know the reason behind that. I hope we find out. And then put her in a trash can. Why? I mean, and the way, and apparently the way that you put it in there was such force that she was like a pretzel. So to me, that would be murder. Like, I mean, you did something to your kid. Like, there's no way you didn't do anything at all, and then you just hit her body like that.
That you roll over on your child in the bed and you don't call 911. And I'm 49 years old. I practiced law for close to 25 years. Ms. Harper talked about yesterday how your life experiences are different. Well, mine are certainly different than Megan's. When this child died, she was 18 years old. Now, you heard about what a great father Tommy Boswell was, and how involved he was. What you didn't hear is Megan had that child because while she was in foster care. That's how involved Tommy Boswell was. She was in foster care when she had the child. I think you'll hear a lot in this trial about how she came up. And I like to tell people, and I do tell people, I've never had a hard day in my life. I've never went hungry. I've never not had a place to live. I've never fought a war, and I've never lost a child. And I can't put myself in the position of someone who has lost a child. But that's what I'm going to ask you to do. Put yourself in Megan Boswell's position. She's 18 years old. She's got an older boyfriend. We expect the proof will be that he tells her, don't involve me with this. I don't want to be involved. Because they're scared you're going to get charged with something. That's going to be the proof in this case. And my reaction and your reaction would be different. I would certainly call 911.
Yeah.
But I'm not 18 years old. And I sometimes think about.
I'm sorry, if you're 18 and you're old enough to have a baby, you're old enough to know right from wrong. We all know at the age of 5, I would say, that you don't go around hurting people like that. You know, you keep your hands to yourself. It starts with that.
Back to myself and say, I would have called 911 at 18 years old. And I probably would. But I know a lot of people at 18 years old who wouldn't. Their life experience is different. Their maturity is different. If any of you have kids, some of you probably know that.
Well,
now, I want to talk to you about about the indictment itself. We entered a not guilty plea to each and every count. So we're persistent in that. But that probably seems disingenuous to some of you all about certain things. And I want to explain why. Counts 7 through 17 charge false report. And to find a false report, they have alleged that she has acted with the intent to obstruct or hinder an officer from preventing the offense or incident from occurring. Well, the case of the death of her daughter, the death had already occurred, which she gave her statements. So it's not to hinder an officer in preventing the offense now, or from continuing to occur. That's the first thing. So you have to determine, is she criminally responsible? Did she lie to the police? She absolutely lied to the police. Not contesting that. Some of the stuff she said, again, are an 18-year-old girl scared to death, talking to a TBI agent, talking to a police officer, and trying to explain this. She doesn't want to get in trouble. It doesn't mean she murdered her child. It doesn't mean she killed her child. What it means is that's her perception that she's going to get in trouble for this. And despite all the assertions to the contrary by the state, this is a trial, and I want to choose my words carefully. Ms. Matthew talks about Evelyn. How to get this right for Evelyn. Get justice for Evelyn. And I want you to hear me out before you judge my statement. There's nothing you all are going to do that's going to change anything for Evelyn. Not a thing. The child is gone. Your job here today, and in the coming days and weeks, is going to decide whether Megan's actions are criminal, or whether they're not criminal. I'm not asking you to find her innocent of anything, because that's not your function. Your job is to determine whether the state can prove beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty that she committed each and every element of the offenses charged. And you're not going to be able to do that. Their theories are absolutely inconsistent.
Okay, so the defense is saying that the state isn't going to be able to make the link between the lying and the finding of the body. He's saying that, yes, they got her on some lies, but they don't have her committing the homicide. There's still more to go to the defense opening statement. We'll see it all right after this break.
Okay, let's go through the break. Thank you all for being here. Okay, there's Julie. There's the guy. Okay.
Remainder of the defense opening statement.
Premeditated murder. Oh, well, if we can't prove that, maybe we'll get her by neglect. And I would suggest.
I'm sorry, but so far this guy's opening statement for the defense is terrible. I would not want him as my lawyer. Like, I haven't felt anything powerful from him. You know what I mean? Like, where I would feel like, okay, my safety's okay. Like, you know, because you're putting your life in this person's hands.
See that the investigation into this case, once it focused on Megan Boswell, it focused on Megan Boswell. You'll see what little investigation there was into Hunter Wood, the boyfriend they talk about. Who, it's like he's out of the picture. It's just Megan that did this. But
that was the boyfriend she found afterwards.
He was involved with it. That he placed that baby there. That he had access to that property. That he'd been a lifelong friend of Megan's brother, Tommy Boswell Jr., who goes by Mike. He knew where that stuff was. Now, there are other things about the body and how it was found that will come out in the proof. I'll bring those to your attention later. But they will show you that baby wasn't placed in that trash can dead. They will indicate to you that baby was probably moved. Also, I want to touch again on this Matthew Gill's talk about Tommy Boswell. Tommy Boswell just had an epiphany. Well, he had an epiphany after they searched his property over and over, after they had run a cadaver dog by that building where the baby was that didn't get on it. Then one day he'll just pick up the phone and say, hey, I just got to thinking, Megan had this playhouse down here. Maybe you should come and search it.
why didn't he search it first? Like, why would he, if he said it like that, hey, there's a playhouse in my house or on my property, won't you come search it? So that's weird.
That would all be it. Seems strange that the TBI searches your property, you would say, search all the buildings. Look at the playhouse. Why? Why do you have an epiphany days later? I bet I know where the child is. You'll hear from him. You'll hear him explain it. You can make your determination if you believe it. But ultimately, you're tasked with determining whether Megan killed that child. The child could have died of sudden death syndrome. It's an upper range of sudden death syndrome, but it's still there. And that child, I think that child's date of birth is middle of November. So when we say a 13-month-old child, the child was barely 13 months. Could have died from that. It could have died from some of the wrong opening, as they believe. Just negative. And certainly, disposing of that body the way it's disposed of is not excusable. He doesn't excuse anything. He doesn't make it right. It doesn't mean she's money. It doesn't mean that. I want to talk to you about the last count that we pled not guilty to on abuse or failure to report a suspicious death. And as indicted, the state chose to indict that where the death was from violence, trauma, or any suspicious or unusual, unnatural manner. Now, I can't deny she didn't report it. She didn't report it. There's no denying that. But what I would tell you is what that indictment leaves out is a key part of that statute. And had it included that, I would have pled guilty, had her plead guilty to that. And that talks about where the unexpected death of a child is severe health or sudden if death syndrome. Had that have been included, should have stood up and said, I'm guilty of that. I did that. But it's not included because the indictment wants to make it that she committed a violent offense against the child. Lying to the police, improper disposal of the body, or whatever part she played in that, doesn't mean she murdered the child. It means she was an 18-year-old girl with pain. That's what you have to think about when you hear this proof. That's all I've got to say to you. I thank you for your time and attention. I know I'll probably cross-examine you. A lot of it was fairly hard the other day. And I mean no disrespect by that. I just want you to know in the jury selection process, I did that because we have to have jurors that, make sure that you can be good. That's the only reason. I mean, absolutely no disrespect. If I'm hard on you, I apologize for that, but I don't apologize for standing up for me.
Okay. I wanted to see something really quick. Where was I at? Okay, hold on. Let me see. I was wondering okay. I was wondering if there was like, if there was anything else we needed to go over. So that was opening statements from day one. Let's see if we can find. I'm kind of going a different direction. Okay, maybe this. Okay. Well, I'm gonna share this and we're gonna watch this video, and it's just like a day one recap, if you will.
The trial
No,
started.
absolutely. It should be something that she has to see every single day and ever in her head every day for the rest of her life, forever, every day. Okay. So that was the kind of like a day one wrap up. But 10 witnesses take the stand on day 2 of Megan's trial. We will go over her Tommy Boswell's. We'll go over a little bit of his testimony. I couldn't think of the word, sorry. But we'll read through this and then we'll go over his a little bit of his testimony. I do have a video of her like in the interrogation. And if you guys want to watch that also, we could watch that. It's up to you guys though. You let me know if you want to watch the interrogation video or not. But it says the second day of Megan Boswell's murder trial began with Judge Jim Goodwin's answer to dispute that sent the jury to their hotel early on Wednesday. 10 total witnesses were called on Thursday, and the judge saw several new pieces of evidence. Those included videos of interviews with Boswell conducted by authorities, messages sent by Boswell to other people, and drone footage of her father's property where Evelyn Boswell's remains were found. A thorough breakdown of the day can be read below. Okay, so judge rules on the interview dispute. So court resumed at 8:30 a.m. on Thursday with Goodwin's decision to play portions of a police interview referenced by a witness Wednesday that led to a request by Boswell's defense attorney, Gene Scott. For the fundamental fairness issue, I'm going to find that the entire video is going to be allowed, Goodwin said. Megan Boswell faces 19 charges, including 1 count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of felony murder in the death of her infant daughter, Evelyn Boswell's death. Opening statements were heard Wednesday, and the first witness was called. However, a legal dispute ended court early. Judge Jim Goodwin dismissed the jurors around 2:40 p.m. Wednesday after Boswell's attorney requested that he be able to cross-examine Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Special Agent and witness Brian Fraley about a February 2020 interview he said he had with the defendant. Fraley was the first witness called in the trial. While Deputy District Attorney William Harper was examining Fraley on Wednesday, Fraley described the clothes Boswell had told authorities that her infant daughter had been wearing and said those perfectly matched what investigators found her in when her remains were recovered. And that happens a lot. I feel like for some reason, they don't change the clothes. Do you know what I mean? They remember what they seen them in, I guess, last, and that sticks with them. Because they never say, like, you know, she was in a yellow tracksuit, but then when they find her, she's in like a pink tracksuit. Like, it's always the same clothes. And I wonder about that. So Fraley also told the court that Boswell told investigators that she knew Evelyn was dead during the interview. The court entered a recess shortly after, and Boswell's defense attorney, Gene Scott, told Goodwin he had a request prior to the jury's return. Of course he does. Of course he has a request. Scott asked to be able to cross-examine Fraley about the interview since its introduction to the court, which Harper argued that he had not misled the witness and that Fraley had offered more information than what he was questioned about. Harper also contested, saying no formal evidence or statement was introduced. Scott hoped to make the entire interview available to jurors. It's my position that the jury should hear it. The state believes it's hearsay, Scott told News Channel 11 after Wednesday's proceedings. The judge will make that decision and will move on. Scott tied the request to one of the first things he did on Wednesday when they moved to dismiss count 18 against Boswell, one of her numerous false report charges. The move frustrated Goodwin, who said the matter should have been addressed in pretrial hearings. I agree with that. Like, why are we taking charges off during trial? Goodwin decided that in order to make a fair ruling and ensure there were no issues when it came to time for appeals, he needed to watch the entire 2-hour interview and consider the law. On Thursday morning, Goodwin told both legal teams he had decided to play portions of the interview for the jury and would allow Scott to cross-examine Fraley. Mr. Scott, when you cross-examine Special Agent Fraley, you're allowed to play the video and comply with the rules of completedness. I wonder how long this one is. Oh, I think it's the same one. So yeah, it is the same one. So Scott began to cross-examine Fraley and quickly launched into playing portions of the interview on the screen for the jury. On the first day of Boswell's trial, the state had dismissed a count of false report against her, count 18. According to the presentment of charges, count 18 alleged that Boswell told investigators on February 25th, 2020, that Evelyn died after either her or Wood rolled over onto her while sleeping and that she did not know where the body was. The video played for the court shows portions of that interview between Fraley, Boswell, and Sullivan County detectives. In the video, Boswell can be heard crying and speaking to police. She described a onesie and blanket that Evelyn had been wearing when she last saw her. Fraley can be heard asking Boswell about Evelyn's whereabouts and additional information in the February 25th, 2020 interview. She makes reference to her ex-boyfriend taking Evelyn away, and at one point she says she woke to find Evelyn not breathing. Boswell's claimed Evelyn's eyes were open but not bloodshot or bruised. She said the baby was not cold when she discovered her, nor was she crying or making noise. She also claimed that when she found Evelyn not breathing, she attempted to give her CPR, but to no avail. Boswell told police on February 25th, 2020, that she was not sure what day Evelyn had died. I'm sorry, but you would know exactly when your daughter died, especially if you did it. She claimed in the interview that she did not know where her then boyfriend, Hunter Wood, had taken the baby or how he had disposed of the body. Megan, you lied to us for 6 days now. I need you to be truthful with me today, Fraley said in the interview. Boswell said in the interview that she was afraid to call anyone and did not want to know what Wood had done with Evelyn. So she didn't want to know what he did. I guess she's telling cops he took her away and far, far away, and she doesn't know, she didn't know anything about anything. Boswell said in the interview that she was afraid to call anyone and did not know what Wood did with Evelyn. She told Fraley that Wood had left when it was near dark and returned when it was dark. She suggested to police that they go search her father, Tommy Boswell's property, but she said she did not know where Evelyn would be there. While being interviewed, she claimed that she had wrapped Evelyn's body in a blanket because she didn't want her to be cold. What about the aluminum foil? Boswell told investigators in the interview that she believed Wood would have taken the body to somewhere near the docks at her father's property. Throughout the video, Boswell can be heard telling Fraley that she did not know where Evelyn was for certain. When asked what Wood would say if police were to talk to them about what she said in the interview, Boswell said he had warned her not to say anything and that he did not want to go back to jail. She also claimed they had not been dating long and had only met in December when she applied for a job. Boswell told Fraley that Wood had a limited relationship with Evelyn, having barely interacted with her. She said in an interview that Evelyn had slept in the bed between herself and Wood one time. Fraley then brought out a map of Tommy Boswell's property and had her mark places she thought Evelyn might be. He also had her reiterate what she had been wearing, which Fraley testified on Wednesday matched the description of the onesie and blanket she was found in. Boswell told investigators she assumed they would arrest her after she told them Evelyn was dead. Fraley told her she had not been helping herself, but that authorities were focused on finding Evelyn. Fraley told her it would be best for her to tell the truth so that he could tell the district attorney's office that she had stopped lying and helped investigators find Evelyn. He also noted that it did not look good after she had gone to the news and made comments about the TBI. Probably not good. He reiterated in the interview that she was not under arrest at the time and said multiple times that she had to tell the truth. After the video concluded, Scott begins cross-examining Fraley. Scott moved that the video be added as an exhibit of evidence. He asked Fraley to specify when Boswell told investigators that Evelyn was dead. Fraley testified that he already had that in his notes because he had informed other investigators that the baby was dead. Fraley confirmed that Evelyn's mother, Angela Boswell, was brought to the interview and could be seen in the video. He also clarified that he repeatedly referenced in the interview he who was referenced was Hunter Wood. And this is your technical issue. Wow. A technical issue at the courthouse briefly interrupted the live stream of the court proceedings. Scott began asking Fraley questions about the discovery of Evelyn's body. He said he realized there was more weight to the trash can than normal and had removed some of the top items, at which point he saw Evelyn's leg. He then said he waited for forensic teams to arrive for the removal of her body. Fraley recalled finding a bread bag in the trash bag with a date that gave investigators an idea of how long it had been there. He continued to answer Scott's questions about how Evelyn's body was found and placed into a body bag that police had set on the front porch of the playhouse. Scott showed Fraley one of the photos entered into evidence on Wednesday of the playhouse. He asked Fraley to use a pointer to show the jury where the body bag was placed on the porch, which Fraley did. Scott asked Fraley to clarify if there was a pile of wire on the front porch, which was also visible in another photo that Scott had entered into evidence. Fraley said yes, it looked to be wire. After Fraley identified a photo of Evelyn's body being removed from the trash can, Scott asked him what had been done with the wire since it was no longer in the same spot. Fraley answered that the wire had been moved to create room for the body bags as Evelyn's body was removed. He confirmed that there did appear to be some leaves and grass or hay underneath the wire. Fraley also pointed out some pupae that he said appeared to be visible. What is that? What is this word? I know I'm saying it wrong. Pupae. Does anyone know what pupae means? Like, it doesn't tell me. Let me know. Fraley mentioned pupae, a form of insect between larvae and adult, repeatedly in his Wednesday testimony by stating that there had been multiple found with Evelyn's partially decayed remains. Also, it was a form of insect between larvae and adult. Oh, so that takes a little while. Okay. Scott asked Fraley to confirm that Evelyn was found in a trash bag inside the trash can, which he did. However, Fraley did not remember seeing leaves in Evelyn's hair when removing her from the trash can. During his testimony, Fraley said as minimal movement was done as possible once investigators realized Evelyn was in the trash can. He maintained that once the blanket in the trash can was removed, the odor of decay was noticed. Investigators stopped removing the items and made an effort to prevent the body from being moved inside the trash can. Scott asked if it was possible, despite the care investigators took, that Evelyn's body could have moved inside the trash can. Fraley said it could have. Scott then moved on to the collection of evidence at Tommy Boswell's property. Fraley confirmed he did collect several items himself and estimated it could be dozens. Scott had no further questions. Deputy District Attorney William Harper began his redirect and asked about the position of a black trash bag in the can that had to be removed before Evelyn was found. Fraley said that other bags in the can had been compressed and appeared to have been pushed down. In answer to Harper's question, Fraley stated the body was carefully treated and the can was handled gently once they were sure Evelyn was in it. Scott had one further question about the position of the trash can that Fraley answered. Fraley was released but remains a subpoenaed witness and could return to the stand. So let me see here. Okay. Is this going to give us every witness? Oh, it's going to give us like almost every witness. Okay. So court resumed at 11:04 a.m. Thursday, with Scott beginning by asking Judge Goodwin to impeach Tommy based on convictions of 2 felonies, one for kidnapping and one for aggravated assault. Did we miss something? I think we did. Yeah, we did miss something up here. Oh, yeah, that's right here. Okay. Okay, so we're right here. Sorry about that. I was like, that isn't, I'm like, that's like the middle of something. So the second witness called by the state was Boswell's father and Evelyn's grandfather, Tommy Boswell. Harper had Boswell confirm his Muddy Creek property as his home and his relation to both Boswell and Evelyn. He also confirmed that Angela Boswell, ex-wife since 2016, is Megan Boswell's mother. Tommy Boswell said his daughter stayed primarily with his parents who live on the same property as him. He also pinned Megan Boswell's time spent in foster care system on her mother and Boswell not going to school. Tommy Boswell also confirmed that Evelyn was born while Megan was in foster care. Harper asked Tommy Boswell about what it was like when his daughter later came back to live with him, and he described supporting her, buying her a car, and helping her with her expenses for Evelyn. Sorry, I don't know how these get dirty when I don't really wear them. Tommy Boswell said Tommy Boswell said Megan and Evelyn lived with him for a few months, but Megan did not clean her room. Are you freaking kidding me? He's worried about her cleaning her room. She's 18 years old. What 18-year-old cleans their room? I mean, really, I'm just saying. That's kind of weird. Between that and the other people living in the house, including his fiancée at the time and her other children, he had Megan leave. Oh, hell no. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm not taking up for Megan or nothing, but she moves in with her dad after being in foster care and all that jazz, right? And then a few months later, he decides, well, his fiancée and her children are living there, and it's just too much for him to handle. So he kicks his own daughter out. He doesn't tell his new girlfriend, like maybe one of her kids needs to go. Does anybody else find that weird? It's just something's weird to me, you know. Oh, so he did give her somewhere to live? My room was a mess at 18 too. My room was a mess in my 20s. Maybe we'll read more. Maybe I should read more. Because it says he helped buy her car. He testified that he thinks Megan stayed with his mother briefly afterward. Harper placed a diagram of Tommy Boswell's property up on the screen and had him identify various structures. After Megan stayed with his mother, Tommy Boswell said Megan went to live in a trailer park that is owned by their family. Must have money. He told Harper that Megan was gifted a trailer and did not have to pay bills. As far as he knew, only Megan and Evelyn lived there. Tommy Boswell said he had tried to push several details out of his mind after struggling to recall some things. He then began to cry and grabbed a tissue as Harper asked him to describe the state of the trailer when he visited. According to Tommy, there did come a time when he informed Megan that if she was going to live with Hunter Wood, she needed to move out so the trailer could be rented. So basically, he wanted to give her the trailer for her and Evelyn, but as long as it was just her and Evelyn. And I can understand that. As a father, he probably saw maybe something he didn't like in her boyfriend. And that's, so. As far as Tommy said, he believed Megan was living with Wood then. When she moved out of the trailer park, Tommy said he had not yet met Wood. He claimed he did not meet Wood until after Christmas in 2020 on a trip to Pigeon Forge. Evelyn was not with Megan on that trip, which Tommy said he found unusual. Tommy testified that Megan claimed that baby was with Ethan Perry, an ex-boyfriend that she claimed was Evelyn's father. Tommy said he had not seen Evelyn since Thanksgiving. After the trip, Tommy said he saw Megan only a few times, but never saw Evelyn. When he asked her where Evelyn was, Tommy claimed Megan continued to say she was with Perry. That ultimately led him to give her an ultimatum so he could see his granddaughter, Tommy told Harper. He described calling the Department of Children's Services and telling them how long it had been since he saw his granddaughter. After reporting it to DCS, Tommy said it was not long before law enforcement met with him. Good job, DCS. Tommy told the court he complied with law enforcement 100%. After getting law enforcement involved in February 2020, Tommy said he stayed in touch with police throughout the search for Evelyn. Harper asked Tommy about March 6, 2020, the day Evelyn was found. He claimed that Megan and his then fiancée, Ashley Rosenbaum, used to swap phones often. Tommy claimed that they had thought law enforcement could use the phones and also began recalling a time he saw a vehicle backed up to the shed on his property, its door open. When law enforcement arrived, they looked at the shed, and he also suggested they check out the playhouse which Tommy's father had built for Megan in the 2000s, with leftover lumber from a barn. Tommy did not recall ever knowing of anyone being in the playhouse since Evelyn had gone missing. Tommy also described how his property can be accessed. He told the jury there is a fence and a gate that requires a key fob to open. He said that Megan did have access, but he never gave a fob to Wood. He also did not recall Wood ever being on his property without Megan. Harper then began using drone footage of Tommy's property taken by Sullivan County's office as evidence. Harper showed the drone footage, which begins at the gate of the property, to the jury. A trailer on the property was labeled in the video as "Oh Mommy's," which Tommy clarified was a nickname for his mother that the Boswell family used. He also clarified that the camper seen in the drone footage was not on the property in 2020. Before Scott began asking Tommy questions, Goodwill sent the court into a 15-minute recess. Court resumed at 11:04 Thursday, with Scott beginning by asking Goodwin to impeach Tommy based on convictions of 2 felonies, one for kidnapping and one for aggravated assault, that he was convicted of in 2014. Scott said that while it had been a significant amount of time since those convictions, the delay in Megan's trial should factor in. If a witness is impeached, it discredits their testimony in the court. Goodwin allowed Scott to ask Tommy about those convictions, and Tommy returned to the stand. The jury also returned to their box. Scott began asking Tommy questions about his previous convictions, to which Tommy asked what that had to do with Evelyn's case. He was instructed to answer the questions. As Scott asked about the convictions, Tommy said he had not broken the law since 2012, even saying he did not have any speeding tickets since then. Harper and Scott briefly spoke with Goodwin about the line of questioning. Afterward, Scott started to ask about the drone footage taken and the property. Tommy confirmed that footage was taken after Evelyn's body was found, and also that someone could have walked onto the property on foot without having to pass through the gate. He also admitted that if someone took or used Megan's key fob, they could access the property. Tommy said he was present for his search on his property after Evelyn was found, during which a canine unit was used. He said while he watched some of the search, he did not see the whole operation. Tommy said he saw the canine and searchers looking on another part of the property, but not near the shed or playhouse. He also stated that he did not kick Megan and Evelyn out, since she was able to stay with his mother and had a trailer waiting on her. Well, he just said he kicked her out. And you don't know for sure if your mama was going to let her stay. Probably wouldn't have if she didn't have Evelyn. Tommy said he did not see Megan's car by the shed, or he did see Megan's car by the shed at some point, but never saw her himself, which later prompted him to call investigators and see if they could find any sort of clue in there. While there, he asked them to check the playhouse where Evelyn was found as well. Tommy said he had not been in the playhouse for years. He also stated he did not believe Evelyn was on his property when he called investigators, but he had an inkling because he called investigators and he said, come check this out. So he had a suspicion of it. Why didn't he take his funky butt down there and go and look and see if his granddaughter was there? I mean, just really. I mean, wouldn't you be curious? If you're curious enough to call the police, I think I'd be curious enough to go down there and look first. I think I would. Because I'd be like, I don't want to waste the police's time if it's nothing. You know, like, let me go look. I don't know. That's just me. If I was like a grandfather. I mean, it's really sad, but I think I would look. Boswell was released, but was instructed that he could be recalled. So then we've got the next witness was Austin Feller. Harper asked Feller if he had lived at the trailer park on Sugar Hollow Road in 2019. Feller said he had been because he had told he could live there for free if he did maintenance. Feller told Harper he never met Megan Boswell in person, but that he believed she had been living there before he moved in. When handed photos of the trailer, Feller confirmed that they were images of the one Boswell had lived in. Harper asked if Feller had been asked to clean out Boswell's trailer and said he had. Feller did not recall the exact dates, but he did remember what the cleaning process was like. He described dirty diapers, feces on the ground, waste in the fridge and oven, and other manners of filth being inside. Feller said he took pictures of the inside when he helped clean it, but he stated he no longer has them. Harper then provided Feller with the pictures of the inside of the dirty trailer, and Feller confirmed that they were in fact the ones he had taken. Harper moved to place those into evidence and placed them on the screen for the jury. The first picture showed a bedroom followed by a hallway into what Feller believed to be Evelyn's room. Feller said everything in the photos was exactly as he found it. Scott made an objection that Feller had no way of knowing which room was Evelyn's and which Goodwin sustained. The jury was instructed not to take the whose room Feller believed was whose into account. Well, you can kind of tell when it's a little girl's room compared to an adult's room, but okay. More photos, including another bedroom, the living room, another hallway, and the kitchen were shown. In each photo, clutter and items could be seen littered about. Feller reiterated at Harper's question that he did not move or place any items. Feller said the floors had been ripped out and was forced to use a respirator to enter the home due to the odor. Oh my God. And this was a brand new trailer when they first got it. Oh my God. He had to put on like a mask. Ugh. Like a whole respirator. When Scott began examining Feller, he struggled to recall the exact dates he moved into the trailer park and cleaned out Boswell's trailer. Scott asked Feller why he took photos inside. Just because it was the worst thing I've ever seen, Feller said. He told the court he sent the photos to Tommy Boswell and others to show the state of it. Feller was released from his subpoena and dismissed from the court. The state then called James Lewis as the next witness. Lewis is a supervisor with DCS and has been with the department for 6.5 years. Lewis said he was an investigator with DCS in February 2020. He told the jury that his role was to investigate referrals DCS had received of abuse or neglect. DCS investigators review the reports they are given, and then they start investigating the allegations. And I should put you guys actually up here. Where are you guys at? Do I have anything? Oh, there it is. There, that's so much better. Since this is pretty long. and he's been with the department for 6.5 years. Lewis said he was an investigator with DCS in February 2020. He told the jury that his role was to investigate referrals DCS has received of abuse or neglect. DCS investigators review the reports they are given and then start investigating the allegations, Lewis said. On February 18th, 2020, Lewis said he received a referral for 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell. Harper asked about the allegations of that referral, but Scott made an objection prior to Lewis answering. Lewis was allowed to continue answering. Lewis said the referral contained allegations of abuse of Evelyn Boswell. According to Lewis, DCS investigators typically reached back out to the person who made the report and then began making contact with other people familiar. Lewis said he learned Megan Boswell was the mother of the child and was able to locate her. Lewis obtained Evelyn's birth certificate as part of the investigation. Harper provided Lewis with Evelyn's birth certificate, and he confirmed it was the same he had previously obtained. The birth certificate was entered into evidence. Lewis told the court he went to visit a 2-story Bluntville home to speak with Boswell and found her there with patrol officers already present. Well, look at that. Made it easy for you. He described it as a well-kept and nice home. Evelyn was not home at the time, according to Lewis. Well, that wasn't her home. Well, that was like the new boyfriend's home, right? Parents' home or something. Like, what? No, we don't do that. That's not where she was. I mean, she was living there, but she should have had like a place that was like a permanent place. According to Lewis, his job was to relay the allegations against her from the DCS report and also ensure Evelyn's safety. He asked Boswell where Evelyn was, to which she replied Evelyn was with Perry, the alleged father. Boswell did not provide Lewis with any way to contact Perry. When asked to describe Boswell's demeanor during their interaction, he said she did not seem to be concerned. Lewis said he then asked for evidence that the child had been with her, at which point he was invited inside. Lewis said no safety concerns were seen or anything out of the ordinary. Boswell told Lewis that she didn't have a crib or some of the items that would be associated with having a child because they were elsewhere. Lewis told Harper that Boswell showed him one new child outfit that hadn't been worn and a memory box in a bedroom, but no other children items, aside from a sippy cup downstairs. Lewis said he did take up photos, which the state provided. So no toys, no diapers, changing station, none of that. No bottles laying around, no sippy cups laying around, or in the cabinets or wherever. Just one sippy cup, a memory box, and one child's outfit. Those photos were entered into evidence and shown to court. They included the sippy cup, the Bluntville home where she'd been staying at, the memory box, and the outfit. The photos showed Boswell holding a green cup, which Lewis said was the only type of silverware, cup, or kitchen item shown to him. The bedroom photo depicted what Lewis said was the room Boswell claimed she had been staying in with Preston Wood. The next showed the memory box, which Lewis said included pictures of footprints, a rattler, and other items. Last was the photo of a child outfit, which Lewis said still had tags on it. Goodwin sent the court into recess for lunch until 1:15 p.m. I wonder if I could find the pictures. I don't see any. I see them on if you watch the court proceeding, but I'll say we'll keep reading and then I'll look. Wait, what's this? Okay, so here's the trash can. Here. This was just like a bunch. I mean, they just threw whatever in here, didn't they? But I can't find any more pictures. So, is that? Oh, I thought that was one of my thumbnails. Okay. But I'll look for some more while we're reading through this. And let me actually close a couple of these tabs. I feel like I have a lot of okay. Like this one. Okay. When court resumed, Lewis said DCS then began searching for Perry, but he only found his parents and no Evelyn. Lewis then recalled interviewing Boswell with Sullivan County Detective Tracy Jerez on February 18, 2020. Harper entered the interview into evidence and played it for the jury. In the video on February 18, 2020 interview, Boswell can be seen maintaining that Evelyn was with Perry. She told them the last time she had seen Evelyn was weeks ago in January 2020. Jerez asked why she had said she was going to meet Perry the next day, to which she claimed she would try to contact him and arrange a meeting. Lewis said Jerez informed Boswell that they had contacted Perry, who said he had not seen Evelyn. Perry had reportedly told investigators that he had seen Megan on New Year's Eve, but Evelyn was not there. Perry said Boswell had told him that Evelyn had the flu, but Boswell said in the interview that was not true. She said February 18th, 2020 interview that she and Perry did not communicate much and claimed he did not respond to her whenever she would reach out, including with questions about Evelyn's whereabouts. Boswell told investigators that Perry did not keep in touch with anyone much while he was with the United States Army. She also claimed that she thought Perry still lived in Tri-Cities and did not know he had gone back to the Army fort in Louisiana. Well, you can't take a baby to the fort with you, to the barracks. You can't. An investigator also expressed concern with a possible broken arm that Evelyn had. Boswell said it could have just been bruised because Evelyn was never taken to the hospital to verify if the arm was broken. She said she had never hit her daughter. There is a huge difference between a broken bone and a bruise on your arm. If her arm was dangling at this point, I would say that's broken. Like, what? I didn't take her to the hospital, but I never hit her. When asked about why there were few items at the Blunttville home, Boswell said she had shown Lewis all of her clothes that were there and the sippy cup, but said only some of Evelyn's stuff was at the house. She told investigators that she and Perry had broken up sometime in November 2019. I don't know what's going on, and I want to know what's going on, Boswell said in the interview. Boswell asked what would happen after an Amber Alert was issued and the Sullivan County detective told her Evelyn must be found. Jerez said in the video that she had never encountered a situation like Boswell's. When asked if Wood had been jealous that Evelyn was someone else's baby, Boswell said he had not been. Boswell also said she and Perry would argue sometimes over Evelyn's parentage. She said she would tell him that she would get DNA test and that he was sure Evelyn was his child. Lewis said the DCS investigation continued, but he was not able to locate Evelyn. He also never received an item from Boswell that Evelyn was missing. Lewis also told Harper that Boswell never produced Evelyn for him despite a court order. Additionally, Lewis said there had never been any custody court filings related to Boswell or Evelyn in Sullivan County that DCS knew of. When Gene Scott began cross-examining Lewis, he asked about the timing of the interactions with Boswell on February 18, 2020. Lewis was released as a witness, and the next witness took the stand. And that's Casey Saltz. I guess that's how you say her name. The next witness to take the stand was Casey Saltz, who knew Boswell through foster care. Saltz told assistant district attorney Amber Messingale that Boswell was a foster child of Salt's parents. Salt remembers when Boswell gave birth to Evelyn while she was in foster care. Messingale then asked Salt about her previous jobs at the same time at the Premier Pediatrics in Johnson City. Salt worked as a receptionist at the office. She told Messingale that Boswell brought Evelyn to that office for wellness visits. According to Salt, from the time the child was a newborn until about the time they turned 2, periodic doctor visits would be scheduled at the office. She also confirmed that records were kept at the office and scheduling was done often. Messingale asked if Boswell brought Evelyn to her scheduled appointments after she was born, to which Salt said yes, she did. Scott then raised an objection. Messingale rephrased and asked if Boswell brought Evelyn to her early rescheduled appointments, and up until the near end of 2019, Salt confirmed that she had. Salt told Messingale that her aunt, Sue Whitson, would sometimes watch Evelyn for Boswell towards the end of 2019. She recalled one instance in which Whitson reached out to her about a diaper rash that Evelyn had. Salt showed a picture of the diaper rash to a nurse at the pediatrics office. Messingale asked what the nurse said should be done, but Scott objected. At that point, Messingale switched gears and asked if Boswell brought Evelyn to her 12-month pediatrician appointment. Boswell did not bring Evelyn to that visit, according to Salt. So, no 12-month visit. An appointment card for December 2019 with Salt's handwriting was entered into evidence. Salt said she reached out to Boswell over Facebook Messenger after they did not come to the appointment. Well, I know that you're like cool with her or whatever, but maybe you should have called her on the phone, like you through the office, like most people do. Messingale produced a photo of the message between Salt and Boswell on December 5th, 2019, which was entered into evidence and shown to the jury. In the message thread, Boswell answered Salt by saying she thought the appointment was the next day. Oh, the good old next day excuse. You know, I've seen it. I've heard it. Hey, Tempest, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Jim Audrey. I meant to say hi to you earlier. I know you've been in here for a little while. Welcome in, guys. It's good to see everybody. Hey, Tark the Shark. My room is a mess right now. That's funny. Salt told Messingale that she believes she did reschedule an appointment for Evelyn at the pediatrician's office, but did not recall the exact date. Based on more photos of the messages between the two, Salt realized she had rescheduled for December 6, 2019, the next day. After entering the messages into evidence, Messingale began showing photos of the conversations to the jury. In the messages, Boswell claimed work was preventing her from getting to the appointment on December 6, 2019. On December 11th, 2019, Boswell asked Salt over Messenger if another family member could bring Evelyn to an appointment, which Salt said that would be fine. Another Messenger conversation on December 13th between the two continued the trend of Salt asking about an appointment. Boswell wrote that she would be switching to a different pediatrician who was closer. Salt said the last time she saw Evelyn was November 28th, 2019, shortly after the baby had turned 1 year old. Evelyn appeared healthy and was able to be toddled around on that day. Tim Horn from Boswell's defense team took over the cross-examining Salt. He asked her to confirm that doctors and employees of medical offices are required to report any signs of abuse. She said that was correct and no signs of abuse on Evelyn were ever noticed. Horn asked if the substance of her testimony was that Evelyn always appeared healthy and that Boswell missed an appointment with her in December. Salt agreed. Salt was released as a witness with no further questions. The defense, that was a good question by the defense. I mean, a couple questions. Dr. Barbara Pugh, a retired pediatrician of 37 years who owned Premier Pediatrics in Johnson City in 2019, was the next witness called by Dr. Pugh, was Evelyn's pediatrician. Dr. Pugh, is that how you say it, Pugh? Let's see. Pugh. Yep. Dr. Pugh said while her partner was the one to see Evelyn for her first visit at the age of 8 days old, however, Dr. Pugh was her normal pediatrician. Up until December 2019, Dr. Pugh said Evelyn was seen regularly at her office. Her last visit was in October 2019 when she was about 10 and a half months old. Dr. Pugh described Evelyn as healthy and advancing well as a child at her last checkup. Premier Pediatrics was later sold to another provider, but their records were still available. Dr. Pugh identified Evelyn's medical records, which were entered into evidence. Horn began cross-examining Dr. Pugh, who reiterated what he had asked Saltz about reporting the abuse. She said there had been nothing warranting a report of abuse whenever her office saw Evelyn. Dr. Pugh was excused, and the next witness was called. Prosecutors called Paul Miller to the stand. Miller, a Johnson City resident, was at the time married to Ethan Perry's grandmother. Miller told Harper that at one point he believed Evelyn was Perry's child. Miller said Perry lived with them from the time he was born until he was about 11 years old. He also said he knew Boswell from their time dating. In October 2019, Miller said he met Evelyn, who he believed was his great-granddaughter. In December 2019, Miller asked Boswell to come to his house, wanting to give Evelyn gifts. However, Evelyn did not appear with Boswell. Boswell told Miller that Evelyn was sick with the flu and didn't want to expose others. Miller asked for a video of Evelyn opening her gifts, but said he never received one. Neither did everyone. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Miller told Harper he did not see Evelyn again. Horn verified with Miller. I'm not laughing at this. I'm laughing at just someone else did that before, so didn't produce a video of opening gifts. So Horn verified with Miller that Boswell posted photos of Evelyn often. He asked if, based off of those photos, Miller thought that Boswell enjoyed being a mother or believed there were any signs of abuse. Miller said from what he saw, Boswell appeared to love the child and did not have any reason to be concerned before December. And then he was stepped down. The district attorney's office called Stephen Lawrence as the next witness. Lawrence said he knew Boswell through his younger sister, who was friends with Boswell in high school. Lawrence was aware Boswell had a daughter. Lawrence was building apartments on December 8th when Boswell visited him. Lawrence's sister had since passed away, and Boswell was visiting because he was naming the building after his sister. According to Lawrence, Boswell reached out to him for help during that time Evelyn was considered missing. He told Harper that he picked up Boswell and dropped her off at the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. Lawrence returned later to pick Boswell up and spoke with her while driving. Lawrence said she remembered Boswell asking if Evelyn had been missing back when they spoke in December. He claimed he said Evelyn has been missing then during... I'm going to read this over. Sorry, I kind of messed that up. Lawrence said he remembered asking Boswell if Evelyn had been missing back when they spoke in December. He claimed she said Evelyn had been missing since then during their car ride. It doesn't. He claimed she said Evelyn had been missing then during the car ride. Okay. The next witness became emotional before she even began testifying. The state called Audrey Gibbs, who could be seen crying the moment she took the stand. Gibbs, a Kingsport resident, knows Boswell from school. She said they met in 7th grade and attended 1 year of high school together. Gibbs said she visited with Boswell and Evelyn almost every day in 2019 and took trips with both of them. She said there were some things that she would notice about Boswell's capability as a mother, such as occasionally taking a while to change a diaper and one time not buckling Evelyn's car seat in. Overall, Gibbs said Boswell appeared to be a good mother, though. Gibbs moved to Knoxville in November with the father of her child and gave birth herself on December 9th. She told Harper that when Boswell came to visit her with another friend in the hospital, Evelyn was not with her, marking the first time Gibbs had not seen them together. Gibbs said Boswell was acting odd and kept repeating how much she loved Gibbs while Gibbs shared her birthing story. She also told Harper it was strange that Evelyn was not there because she knew it was hard for Boswell to get a babysitter. The two kept in contact over Instagram primarily afterwards, but Boswell would continue to say that Evelyn was with Perry and did not show any new pictures of her. Harper produced Instagram messages between the two of them on January 19th, 2020, and showed the messages in the courtroom. In them, Boswell reached out to Gibbs. Gibbs asked how Evelyn was doing, and Boswell said, "Good. but that she was with Perry. They spoke about trying to arrange a time for their children to meet. Prosecutors gave Gibbs another conversation on Instagram from January 24th and 26th between the two and had it entered into evidence. In that conversation, Boswell told Gibbs that she was pregnant. Gibbs reacted and expressed joy that Evelyn was going to have a sibling. Gibbs last saw Evelyn at her baby shower on October 31st, 2019. The defense had no other questions for Gibbs. So the next witness to come up is Bailey Hawkins, and she's a Blountville resident. She met Boswell in elementary school. They maintained a friendship for the remainder of their teenage years. And Hawkins said they saw each other every week after Evelyn was born, each week. Hawkins told Messingill that before Thanksgiving 2019, she never saw Boswell without Evelyn. She believes the last time she saw Boswell was Evelyn was at the Speedway in lights at Bristol Motor Speedway in November. She told prosecutors that Boswell began working at Hunter's T's Chicken Shack in December and that she seemed to be always there. Hawkins said Boswell told her that her grandmother watched Evelyn while she was working. Massengale gave Hawkins copies of text messages between her and Boswell on December 5th, 2019. In those messages, Boswell told Hawkins she had been working and then hanging out with Preston Hunter Wood. Boswell went on to tell Hawkins how much she liked working at the restaurant and being with Wood. Boswell described going to work at Hunter's T's Chicken Shack early in the day and enjoying being with Wood and his father. Over the course of the conversation, Boswell indicated that her grandmother was watching Evelyn. Next, Massengale presented text messages between Boswell and Hawkins on the morning of December 6, 2019. Boswell told Hawkins she would be hanging out with Wood and later informed her that she spent 4 hours talking with him. Further text messages between Hawkins and Boswell on December 7, 2019 were then reviewed. In those, Boswell told her that other employees did not like how Wood gave her free things and treated her differently. Later, when the two of them were supposed to meet, Boswell told Hawkins that she had left Evelyn with Perry's grandmother. Hawkins told Massengale that she had never known Boswell to do that, doing things that are out of character. Hawkins said she was not sure if Boswell and Wood were in a relationship at that point. Text messages from late at night on December 13th, 2019 showed Boswell asking Hawkins to ride around with her because she was upset. When asked what was wrong, Boswell did not give her an exact response. Throughout all the messages, Boswell indicated that Evelyn was with either her grandmother or Perry's grandmother. At one point, Hawkins said Boswell had told her that Perry had come back to town and was attempting to get some type of custody of Evelyn. Hawkins told Massengale that Boswell never seemed upset by any of the alleged custody challenges. On December 14th, the two were texting again. Boswell told Hawkins that she was upset because of Perry taking Evelyn and how it was hard for her to see Evelyn's things. Boswell told Hawkins that there would be a court date in January 2020 regarding custody of Evelyn. Over text, Boswell told Hawkins she was getting a hotel to avoid seeing Evelyn's things at home and asked if Hawkins would stay with her that night. Hawkins did stay with Boswell and said she was acting tired and disassociated. She did not talk much. Both women fell asleep and did not speak for very long, Hawkins said. The pair got pals the following morning and split soon, according to Hawkins. On December 15th, Hawkins asked Boswell over text if she wanted to get dinner with her. Boswell responded saying she was with Wood and would let Hawkins know when she had her car again. Hawkins said it seemed that Boswell had been staying with Wood and was not sure when she left her trailer. The two of them rode to Knoxville together to see Gibbs after Gibbs gave birth. Hawkins described Boswell's demeanor as erratic and said she was acting out of character, telling both friends how much she loved them. Hawkins and Boswell texted on December 23rd, 2019 as well. At that time, Boswell said she was at Miller's home, and Hawkins asked if Evelyn was with her. Boswell said Evelyn was there and doing good. Hawkins, who began crying at this point in the testimony, texted Boswell asking for pictures of Evelyn while she was with Perry's grandparents. Goodwin called for a brief recess to give Hawkins a break. That's sad. Court resumed shortly before 5 p.m. Court resumed and Hawkins continued her testimony in January 9th, 2020 text messages. Hawkins asked Boswell about Evelyn's custody. On January 20th, 2020, Boswell told Hawkins over text that she had gone to Blowing Rock, North Carolina that day. Text message from January 24, 2020 showed Boswell told Hawkins that she and Wood might be expecting a child. Hawkins asked about Evelyn and told Boswell that she wanted to see her. Boswell told her she planned to pick up Evelyn the next Monday. The two text again on January 29th, 2020. Hawkins asked Boswell if she had Evelyn, and Boswell said she was currently with family member. Hawkins told Boswell she missed seeing Evelyn and hadn't seen her in a long time. Hawkins told Massengale that she had not seen Evelyn in about 2 months at this point and was becoming worried. Hawkins said Boswell was no longer posting pictures of Evelyn and Boswell would only talk about Evelyn if someone else brought her up. Hawkins says she considered contacting DCS but did not due to how close a friend she was with Boswell. While crying, Hawkins said Boswell would always tell her that Evelyn was with Perry or with grandmother. Hawkins texted Boswell on February 22nd after Evelyn had been reported missing. Hawkins struggled to read the text for the court, requiring Massengale's help. In the February 22nd text, Hawkins asked Boswell why she had not told her what was going on. Boswell says she was worried that whoever had Evelyn would do something to her. Hawkins also asked Boswell how she and Wood were, writing the statements Wood made to media about Boswell. Evelyn and the Amber Alert were false. Boswell told her Wood had threats to his business. Boswell then began telling Hawkins that she couldn't discuss some things when asked more about the last time she or Wood saw Evelyn. The last document Massengale gave Hawkins was a receipt from a hotel that Hawkins paid for Boswell to stay at one night. Goodwin decided to send the jury to their hotel for the night after that. Hawkins was informed she would need to return Friday morning to finish her testimony. Parties are expected back at court at 8:30. The jury will return at 9 a.m. Woo, that was a long article. Woo, that was long. Oh, thank you, Tennessee. Did you add me on X or someone else? Add me on X too. Hey, Tish. Oh, I'm glad you got a membership. I bet it was either Mary Beth or Mary Beth. If it was last night, because Mary Beth gifted a lot last night. She gifted like 30 memberships. I think I gifted like 5 the day before, so it might have been my little 5. You never know. But that's pretty much what's been going on in court the last couple of days. Lots of testimony. 10 witnesses the first or the second day. That's a lot. That's a crap ton. I don't know if I've ever heard of that many. Then like added me on X, like Twitter. Like the tweeter. Hey, Tark. I like that name, Tark the Shark. Feeling that. I'm just going back up because, And thanks for sticking with me, y'all. You guys are, y'all are legit. Y'all are legit. Thank you so much for sticking with me while I read that. That was longer than I thought it was going to be. I didn't look at it beforehand. I just was like, oh, this is an article about, look at this. This doesn't look that long, but we was reading for a minute. It just, I just wanted to go over day 2. Man, I was going to go over his testimony, but maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I do want to do a live tomorrow during the day since I actually will be here tomorrow. I don't have any hair appointments or any appointments of any kind that I know of. Thank you, Tish. Thank you. I appreciate that. Not too bad. Not too bad with one eye, I'm blind in one eye, so that's a very good compliment. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's like the best compliment I got today, Thank you. Because sometimes, when I read, my brain like it reads the words. It's like processes the words like faster than my mouth can like spit them out. Sometimes I'll jumble on my words, but it's only because I'm like speaking way too quickly. And then I'm like, okay, just slow down a little bit, slow down. But does anybody have any awesome weekend plans? Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow is Friday. We will go over to the old X to see what's going on over there. I like to just see what's happening, because it's usually something crazy. Let's see. Let's go. Let's see. Oh my. Oh, Brian Enton got to stand up and talk to Josh Shapiro about the Ellen Greenberg case, and Josh is still saying his belief that Ellen stabbed herself in the back 20 times. That's insanity. He needs to be not in politics anymore, but I think that we should go over that case because they are switching. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, hey, Wandering Orphan. So the Ellen Greenberg case is out in Philadelphia. She went home. She was a teacher. She had a snow day. Like as she's at school, it starts to snow. She gets half a day. She goes home. She's cutting up fruits, stuff to put on a salad, and she's using a Cutco knife. And if you know the brand Cutco, they have this brown handled knife. It's serrated. I own it. The same exact knife that she was using to cut up this fruit. So she's cutting it up. And then all of a sudden, she just decides to stab herself in the back, but in the places where you can't reach. Like there's just no way for you to reach. I am extremely limber. Like even for my age and everything, I am like very flexible person, and I cannot get my hand like that to do what these wounds were like. There was one to her head. 20 times, and these were deep wounds, so I don't see someone doing that to themselves. I get a paper cut and I freak out. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and yeah, like just imagine taking a knife and stabbing yourself. Like, who would do that? And she had no mental health problems. She was having a little bit of anxiety, I think, or maybe, but nothing like, where you would harm yourself. The fiance, she had a fiance she lived with. He just happened to be at the gym when all this happened in the same building though, but in the gym. And he supposedly came up and kicked the door in, and that's when he found her, and he tried to do CPR, but there was no fluid on him, he was clean as a whistle when they found him. So, it's a good case to cover. Like we've been going over it for a little while now. We will just go back over it because we've always known there's just something not right. And, yeah. Really? Wondering Orphan, that's awesome. I know there's a bunch of tricks that you can do because they had a lock that had like one of those hotel kind of locks. And I know there's ways to do that. Oh, look, my thumbs up did that again. I took the live reactions off. That's so weird. Okay, so if I do this, look, is it going to do it? Look at that. I guess they're live reactions. That's the only one I like. I like the fireworks. And then, and the heart one. We were doing these earlier on our members live. I wonder if there's like a star one. I don't know how to do a star. I don't want to do any signs that are like bad. Well, usually I turn them off because like I don't like the thumbs up one. I'm just like, that's weird. Like me and Vincent both said that. So he figured a way to turn it off. Oh, I got a new MacBook. I bet that's why. That's probably why. Yeah, and did you notice that there was like only a couple screws like loose? They were out. So to me, like he didn't kick that door in my opinion. I don't think he kicked it in. I think he got back in the way I think that he just, I don't know. I don't know if the manager was like standing right beside him when all that was going on, but the way that the door is even, like the lock, it doesn't even look like it was broken at all. So it's crazy. Yeah, we did this earlier. Like it happened and I was like, oh, wow. And then I did like 2 thumbs up and it did that. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. You know, it doesn't take much to like, make me like go, wow, look at that. Yes. Yeah, he did. He waited outside the door for 45 minutes. Yep. Before he went and got help. But he prepared the door for it. Yeah. Man, it's crazy. It's a crazy case. I think he is too a little. Yeah. It's a sad case. We'll cover that tomorrow. We should cover that. We should cover that case because I have some like the tabs up and everything. And we can just like go over like just the case in general. I have a bunch of like Canva stuff that I did. Like I'll do like presentations for you guys sometimes. And I'm pretty sure I have some on the Ellen Greenberg case. I know I do actually. I think I have a timeline for you guys and maybe something else, but we'll go over it. I had this over. So if you can see in the upper right corner, I was going to make this my new logo, but you can't see where it says TitaniumBuilt. So I'm still looking for logo options. We had this one, which I like the TB because that's my real initials in real lifer. So I don't know. I kind of like that one, but I'm going to get your guys' opinion. Get your opinion soon. So, and then it is this weekend. So Vincent's going to teach me how to do Discord. I was telling the members earlier, we're going to do Discord, but it's going to be under like a tier. So if you are at a tier 2, all you'll have to do, or tier 1, or, Titan emoji, you'll just, there'll be a new spot. There'll be a new tier. So you'll just, take it and go to that tier and it'll be, I don't know exactly the name I said earlier, but I think it's going to be just like, tier, maybe we'll do tier 3 plus, or tier, how we'll do it. Tier 3 plus Discord. I don't know. That doesn't sound right. We'll do something, but it'll say plus Discord and I'll let you know exactly when everything's set up. I won't, because I don't want anyone to go over and, and Discord's not set up. But it should be by this weekend because Vincent said that he would help me with it. And then I'm going to show y'all how to do it. So if you guys don't know how to do that, like stuff, I'm going to do a whole video, like a live, and we'll figure it all out together. So yeah, I hope they throw the book at him. Her parents deserve. Oh, I didn't even do a thumbs down. I just have my hands like this. Well, we'll get you to figure it out, Tish. I promise. We'll get it figured out. I'm not good at it anyway either. Idaho 4, Summer, Layla, or Madeline. Yeah, if you want to, that'd be awesome. Well, Idaho 4 is, oh yeah, Idaho 4. Woo, If you guys would have known me my first year on YouTube, like, when Idaho 4 started until that, like, September after that, I was like up here. I mean, I was so factual based and so like if you came in and you said something that was off, like, because there was all these chats going like crazy and just putting out misinformation, I would just get heated. Y'all would have seen me heated. It was not fun. It was not good. So I took a vacation. And I took 7 days off of YouTube. I did pre-recordings for 7 days and had them all done. And then I went on vacation and I came back and the whole chat changed and the whole vibe. Everything was just calm. I loved it. It was like, what happened? Well, I know what happened. People left, things happened, but it was just like, wow. You love and hate Discord, Tempest. I think it'll be fun and it'll give us somewhere to go if you guys want to talk to each other, or maybe I want to ask y'all a question. Like there's sometimes I want to ask you guys something, I really do. Cause I think of you guys as my people. And I'm like, oh, I can't ask them because I don't want to just like fire up a live to ask you like, how to cook chicken Parmesan or something. I don't know. So, that's what we're going to do a live over tomorrow too. So buckle up. Let me put my other channel in here. Go over, subscribe to Unfiltered with Tanya. It's more of like a life vlog channel. So you're going to see, I don't know, just a lot more of me. Like, more unfiltered. That's why it's called Unfiltered. Make sure I typed that all in okay. I did. So I think what we're going to do tomorrow is I'm going to cook some chili because I want to make chili anyway. So I thought, why not do it live with you guys and just talk and hang out, make some chili. Yeah, we're going to cook tomorrow, I think. Yeah, I think we're going to do it tomorrow. I have a lot of meat though, so I might be making like a big thing of chili. But I have a big crock pot because TrueCrime Lullaby has got me a huge crock pot for Christmas. So we can open it up and use it. I haven't opened it up yet, so I'm excited to use it. You're welcome. Thank you for subscribing. And sometimes we make fun of like Betty over there and stuff, but for the most part, we're just going to be doing we're going to start doing just like life vlogging, talking about, traumas that we've been through, just anything, I'll talk about like vacations that I'm going to take which I don't take that many, or things that I do, I'll let you guys know the things that I'm feeling. If, it's going to be more personal over there. So, hopefully everybody's nice because it is going to be a little more personal, but it'll be fun. So thank you guys for subscribing. I'll be over there. It'll probably be, I'll probably start cooking around 11, 12, I would say. Because we don't usually eat till a little bit later at night anyway. And then I can always just put it on like low and just let it simmer, and cook. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow during the day. And then I'll see you tomorrow during the night if you're not into cooking and you want to just come and hang out with us tomorrow during the night. But I'll see you guys all later. Have a wonderful evening. And what I'm going to do also is I have like 3 songs. So we will decide which song. I don't know. I like this song, I think, for this channel. But the second channel and the members, we may switch those two. I'm not sure yet. But I will see you guys all later. Have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Tonight, we gonna let it out. Just like a spark that's breaking